Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I haven't made a tutorial in quite some time and I'm filming a little bit differently today because I just was really excited to make these for you. So I made these really super cozy socks the other day. I used a big twist, a twinkle yarn with a black yarn, and then at the top for the ankles I just used black and black. So you are using 2 strands of yarn for this project and a 7mm crochet hook. Okay, this is really simple tutorial. You don't need a lot of yarn. I have been using yarn, my scrap yarn, to make these projects, so that's why I decided to show you guys today. Okay, so we're going to start with either a magic circle or a chain 4. I'm going to do a chain 4. You can do a magic circle if you like. This is an adaptation of a few different patterns. This pattern worked best for me, so I wrote it out according to a medium to large pair of socks. So this should be able to fit a men or women size. So we're going to start with 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to slip stitch back at the first stitch or make your magic circle. And then inside the magic circle, you're going to chain 1 and you're going to do 8 half double crochets inside the loop. So 1, 2, and I try to grab the yarn in here and kind of tuck it in as I go. 3, so I don't have to tuck in so much yarn later on. Sometimes when you're crocheting with 2 pieces of yarn, it gets a little difficult, but that's okay. So we said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to slip stitch at the beginning of the row. So that's going to be the chain 1. We're going to slip stitch into the top of that first double crochet. Okay. Then the next row, you're going to chain 1. And then you're going to half double crochet 2 in each. So not this first one here. You're going to half double crochet 2. So 1, 2. You should have a total of 16 at the end of the row. 3, 4. And if you know how to do this, just skip to the end and I'll meet you. 5, 6, 7, 8. Making sure you're picking up all the yarn. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I didn't see this one stitch here, 15, 16. Easy, right? Slip stitch at the top of that first half double crochet at the beginning of the row, and that was round 2. Round 3, you're going to chain 1 at the beginning of each round, and you're just going to do 16 half double crochets. So there's no increase. So 1, 2, 3. And you can do this with a smaller hook and one of the strings of yarn if you like. I just like to do it this way because it makes it extra thick and extra warm. Okay. Where are we at? 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And I think it's important to count. I'm not typically a big counter, but sometimes these stitches right here can get lost and messes up your count. And 6, you're making 2 pairs of socks, you want to make sure they're identical. Okay, so after 16, you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. Slip stitch into the top of the half double crochet from the beginning of the row. Okay, now this is the last increase row, and after you do this, you don't need me for a little while because you're just going to make the bulk of the sock until we get to the top part, which is a different stitch. Okay, so we chained 1. We are going to half double crochet in the next stitch, and then we're going to do an increase. 1, 2. Then we're going to half double crochet 1, and then we're going to increase 1, 2. And you're going to do that all the way around, alternating between half double crochet and half double crochet increase. At the end of the row, you should have 24. Now, if you need this a little bit smaller, I would check this on the tip of your foot to see if it's either too big or not big enough. You should be able to get a gist, or if you do 1 or 2 rows, you should be able to get a gist of how big this is for your foot, or if you're making it for a gift for someone. Okay, we're getting around. And of course, like I said, you can fast forward or do double speed if you already get the gist of what I'm saying. These work up so fast and they're so cozy. Okay, and then you should end with an increase. So you should end with 2 half double crochets, and then of course slip stitch at the top of the first half double crochet of the row. Okay, so that is the basic starting of the sock. I told you it was super easy. So remember, you're going to chain 1 and you're literally just going to go around. I did 16 rows of the 24 stitches, or a total of 20 rows from toe to the decrease, to the cuff. And you can make it as short or as long as you need it, but I did 20 total. Okay, so we're going to finish this row together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Make sure you have both pieces of yarn. 13, 14. Sometimes when you're crocheting fast, you will drop a stitch or drop a string. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Once again, slip stitching at the beginning of the half double crochet at the row, and then you're going to make this all the way down, and I will come back to you when we're done. Okay, I put my hot dog sock on. We're going to try on our sock right now. We did all 20 rows. It kind of comes up a little bit. So if you want to continue on a little bit higher, like if you're going to do it for a boot, you can go ahead. If you want to change colors right here and have the cuff be different, you can go ahead. Or if you want to stop right here, you can go ahead. Pretty easy. This took me about 30 minutes to make. But let's continue on with the tutorial. I'm going to make these socks all the same color. So let's get back to the tutorial. So like I said, this is a accumulation of a bunch of different tutorials. A lot of these sock tutorials are abstract because it goes by the person's foot, which is why I just wanted to make a concrete tutorial for everyone to follow. So after we did our 20 rows total, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to single crochet now in every stitch. So you should still have your 24. Oh, and by the way, I did use the, which one is this? The mistletoe Christmas yarn. You can, use whatever yarn you like. So we are going to single crochet around for 6 rows total. And then honestly, the last row is going to be a slip stitch. So if you wanted to just continue on without me, you can. We're going to single crochet for 6 rows, and then you're going to slip stitch for the last row, and then you're done. But if you want to stick along with me, you can go right ahead, and we will finish up these 6 rows of single crochet, and then I will show you what the finished sock looks like. Now remember to slip stitch at the top of that single crochet. It gets a little bit harder to see the single crochet, so make sure you continue the count. So you're going to count 24, and at the end of the row, you're going to slip stitch on the top of that single crochet that you started at the beginning of the row. You're in your final row, so you're going to chain 1, and you're just going to slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and you're going to slip stitch at the beginning of that first slip stitch, and then you're going to cut. But before you cut, make sure you try it on one more time to make sure it's the perfect length for yourself. So we have our hot dog sock on again, and we're just going to try on our sock. Now you can see that it doesn't have like a heel, but like I said, this is a quick, easy pattern here. So fits nice and cozy, and then I can roll my cuff down nice and firm, and ta-da! Your sock is done. Just gotta make another one and you have a pair. This is quick and easy, great Christmas gift. This one sock took me a half an hour to make, so this is a project that you can do under an hour. You can change the color if you like for the cuffs, like I did for mine. What you would do is just swap out this one white yarn for another of or the same color. Easy peasy, and there you go. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Have a good day and come back and see me for more.